Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here once again with another video on The Flash Season 4. So just quickly before we get into the rest of this video, in the lead up to the beginning of the shows, which start next week, or the new seasons of all these shows, there won't be like a video every day because I don't feel the need to produce that content because I'm going to be producing so much when the actual shows come out. So if you do notice a lack of videos in the next week or so, that's why. So don't panic saying, oh, why aren't you uploading videos? That's the reason why. I don't want to be spewing out sort of pointless content really when it comes to it nowadays or this week, because there's not much stuff going to be coming out. But yeah, it's mainly because there's going to be a lot of stuff coming out obviously when the shows start, and I just want to not have to force out videos at this current time. But yeah, as I said, we are now just a week away from The Flash being back, as well as Legends of Tomorrow, because they're on the same night, which is a really fantastic thing to be saying right now. Like, it's been a long break, been really hard in certain points, especially when it comes to producing content, so it's actually really enjoyable to say, hey, next week, all these new seasons of all these shows are finally back. But recently they, and by they I mean executive producer of The Flash, Andrew Kreisberg, revealed some new information on some new heroes and villains that we would be seeing in Season 4. The characters in question are Killer Frost, Ralph Dibny, aka the Elongated Man, and finally the big bad for this season, the Thinker. Now, yes, I know Caitlin Snow / Killer Frost isn't new to the show this season, but she is going to be different from what we've seen before, which is why she is included in all of this. But speaking of Caitlin Snow, aka Killer Frost, she is the first one that Andrew Kreisberg talked about in this interview. When we left Season 3 in Central City, Caitlin was doing the exact same. She was leaving Central City in order to deal with and learn more about her icy powers and life as Killer Frost. Kreisberg does say that Caitlin is continuing to struggle with the cold monster lurking inside of her, but she will definitely come back into the fold in the premiere episode. Now, it comes as no surprise that Caitlin is back for episode 1, or the premiere episode, due to her being in not only the various promo trailers that have been released, in the upcoming weeks before the show started, but also that she has been in the promo images as well supplied for episode 1. In regards to the whole cold monster lurking inside of her part, I do hope they do something with Caitlin / Killer Frost that is different to what we saw last season. So it isn't just Caitlin holding Killer Frost back over and over again until Killer Frost hulks out, essentially, if you want to call it that. What they could do, which would be pretty cool, interesting, and different, would be that Killer Frost is just like your simple split personality. Just at random points and also at triggered points, Killer Frost takes control. Obviously, it wouldn't be shared. Caitlin would be in charge around 90% of the time. A vast majority of the time, Caitlin would be in control. But that remaining time, so that 10% is open pasture for Killer Frost to come out and play, if you want to call it that. The next new character to go over from The Flash Season 4 is Ralph Dibny, aka the Elongated Man. Ralph Dibny will be played by Hartley Sawyer and will debut around episode 4. He could debut in episode 3 or even earlier possibly, but seeing that episode 4 is entitled Elongated Journey into Night, you would have to think this would be the episode we first see him show up. However, he could be name dropped earlier on in earlier episodes, who knows. An interesting thing about Ralph Dibny in regards to the show's history is that in Season 1 he was said to be one of the people that was killed or went missing due to the particle accelerator incident. So it will be very interesting whether that is brought up or due to timeline changes that never happened, so it's sort of retconned. But this is what Andrew Kreisberg had to say about Ralph Dibny. Don't count on him being as upstanding as Barry. There's going to be a lot of conflict between them in terms of how to be a good guy. Ralph is hitting on everybody all the time. He's brash and loud and doesn't listen. He's also hiding something about how he acquired his powers of malleability. That's one of the biggest mysteries of the season. Now, after reading this, I got pretty excited about the relationship between both Ralph and Barry this season, as I do think it will be an interesting one to see play out throughout the season. Ralph does seem like he will be that type of person to go around pointing fingers without actually thinking everything through, which might get himself into trouble and, causing more work and hassle for not only Barry, but also the rest of Team Flash as well. But as it does say in the interview with Andrew Kreisberg, how Ralph got his powers will be one of the big mysteries of the season. So it is going to be very, very, very interesting as to whether they will be connected back to the particle accelerator incident from Season 1, or even before Season 1 technically, or whether there will be some retcon action, as I said before, going on, and that whole thing back in Season 1 will be forgotten and we will get a new source of Ralph's powers. In the comics, Ralph gets his powers from a fruit, so I don't think they're going to go down that route. Yeah, it's like something that's in a fruit, and he like gets like a pure essence of it and takes that, and that's how he gets his powers. It's sort of weird. And last but not least, we have the new big bad for the Flash this season, and that is Clifford DeVoe, aka the Thinker. It is unclear when the Thinker will debut this season, but usually we get introduced to the big bad of the season, you know, properly in around episode 5 or 6. So you think that would be the same as well this time around. But we could see his work taking place or effect in earlier episodes without actually meeting him. So he could be controlling someone or have someone that's working for him do an action earlier in the season, and they might name drop DeVoe or the Thinker or something like that, but we won't actually properly meet him until maybe episode 5 or 6, or maybe even later. They might change it up this season. But this is what Andrew Kreisberg had to say. This year's baddie is an intelligence threat who actually isn't out to foil the Flash. He has a need for him, I would say is more accurate. So this season, the Flash is doing something really new with the show, and that is that a non-speedstar is the big bad for the season. Due to this, I am very interested and intrigued to see how they handle his character arc and just like the general plot of the season. This was something the show needed to do just to mix it up a bit, and they don't necessarily have to provide an amazing story around the Thinker to prove that the show can function without a speedster villain. It just has to be slightly above average. You know, just try not to get too complex and messy like last season got. Obviously, I would prefer if the season was like amazing, like, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening. But at the same time, I would like if they played it a bit more safe and just provided a straightforward, clean story that's also really, really enjoyable to watch. But really what this season looks like it's going to be is just about Barry learning to use his mind and tactics more instead of just his pure speed and physicality, which I'm very much looking forward to see how they portray that on screen. Because as we know, Barry's going to be coming out of the Speed Force a lot more wiser, but I think he's still going to have to learn a lot more outside of the Speed Force when it comes to taking down the Thinker, as well as the rest of Team Flash assisting him. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could leave a like to show your support for the video and the channel as a whole. Let me know in the comments section down below, what do you think of all of this? Which of these 3 characters are you looking forward to most seeing? Is it Killer Frost? Is it the Elongated Man? Or is it the Thinker? Just let me know in the comments section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys, and goodbye.